experience to handle the insurance companies while you get better. We work hard to help you get every dollar you deserve. Now you know. On the line for $999.999. It's Ram season for a limited time in Waynesboro. Save up to $10,000 on Ram 2500 diesels.
Shop GoodToGoWaynesboro.com to save time and money.
GoodToGoWaynesboro.com. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Record rainfall causing big problems across the area. Flooded homes and roads, even trees down. Some spots picking up more than a half a foot of water. Bushfield broke a daily record yesterday with 3.3 inches out there.
We have live team coverage for you this evening, starting with Nick Veland in South Augusta. But first, let's check in with current conditions and First Alert meteorologist Mikhail Anna Harding.
Well, we're looking outside. We'll look ahead towards the weekend and the full forecast.
Okay, thanks for that, Mikhail. After a week of record rainfall, including an overnight storm, people are dealing with the aftermath of all this flooding.
We saw trees on homes. We saw roads partially washed out. In the last hour, the city of Augusta says the American Red Cross has been dispatched to help assess the damage and give help where it's needed.
Meanwhile, one man is shocked after water found its way into his house, forcing him to find shelter somewhere else. Team coverage continues on Yates Drive in South Augusta. That's where Nick Veland is. So how is the cleanup going over there, Nick?
Yeah, well, Laura, it's been a rough 24 hours for houses along this stretch of Yates Drive because when the rain came, flooding came with it, and now they're having to rebuild. Water still flowing down the street, even a tree on a house. As the rebuild begins, some areas have it harder than others. Debris.
That's just how this water came up. Look at my truck. Right there.
Reaching heights, the houses couldn't keep it from getting inside.
And just was chilling. All I know, it was pouring down raining. I started to see water spread from one end of the wall all the way to the next end of the wall.
And having to react.
I ain't never seen nothing like this in my entire life, so I'm like, this is new to me. As soon as it started rising, I was like, I gotta get out of here.
It was about this high all the way through my entire house. The entire house. I just got my house redone. I just got it redone. You know, and I mean, all that costs us.
Leaving neighbors tired, staying in a hotel and not knowing when they're able to come home.
Because if you look at it, you worked all your life to achieve something to be comfortable for the rest of your life. Once you done put the work in, you ought to be able to be comfortable in your house.
And we did see the Red Cross helping out neighbors on Yates Drive throughout the day, and they told me that in the situations like this, they assess what has been damaged and see where they can help out down the line.
Good to hear. That is a lot of water all at once. Nick, thank you.
A heads up for drivers. Part of Highway 1 in Leesville, South Carolina is closed. Flash flooding pushed mud into the roadway. You can see from these pictures how thick it is. It almost looks like a mudslide. Crews have been working day and night to check out the damage in that area. New tonight, another look at how bad conditions got in South Augusta for some folks. A viewer sent in this video showing flooding on Lonsdale Drive. A nearby ditch overflowed, causing this huge pool of water.
Clogged pipes in one woman's yard, causing big mess for her over there and her other neighbors as well. This is Blackberry Lane in Augusta. The water's been building up from days and days of heavy rain this week, even causing part of the road to start falling apart. And like clockwork, one woman's sinkhole has reopened. Now it is bigger than ever. Going to show you some new video here out of the Woodlake subdivision in Hephzibah. With so many people experiencing stormwater issues, they want to know what the monthly fee is being used for. Hallie Turner follows the money for us.
Believe it or not, this is the same yard we showed you yesterday in the Woodlakes neighborhood in Hephzibah. The ground looked sturdy to a blind eye, but after last night's storm, this sinkhole is back and worse than ever. But this is just one of the many sinkholes the city sees weekly. And while you pay a storm fee, the process to fix it isn't as easy as some may think.
Because at the end of the year, if you're collecting $620 from every homeowner for stormwater fees, that should amount to quite a money.
While the fee is actually 20 cents more a month, sitting at $6.40, it
It generates millions for engineering.
So we collect around $13 million.
With inflation, Dr. Malik says it isn't enough to cover every issue.
So out of that, we're on 5.5 million, six going to the staff who work in that program. There's 2 million plus goes into operation, like maintenance equipment.
Sparing a few million for required maintenance.
Little under 6 million. And that's primarily going into like street sweeping, cutting the grass.
He says while he is aware of the pipe problems, the issues combined with inflation.
That's a lot for us to come up with the resources and just fix them, like in a month or so.
But the SPLOST funds from the city government don't roll in until later.
We did allocate 20 million in SPLOST 8, which started last year, but most of the money is at the tail until we can't get to all this till we get that money.
Leaving them without any money to fully repair sinkholes around the city.
So we're gonna keep doing the same thing. We're gonna just patch it to make sure it's safe. And then 2025 we will pick it up to fix it.
And as for those with sinkholes, Dr. Malik says the first thing Monday they're going to be out there with a camera just to test that water line to see what the issue is over there and then move forward the best they can with that repair. He says issues like this are important, so don't wait. And if you're not getting anywhere, he says you can call engineering directly.
On July 1st, a ban on gender-affirming health care for minors will go into effect here in Georgia. That means no hormone therapy or surgery for transgender children under the age of 18. Georgia's one of several states passing legislation regarding trans people.
And all of this as Pride Weekend kicks off in Augusta. Taylor Martin spoke with Augusta Pride leaders who say the laws make Pride events more important than ever.
Well, I spoke with organizers with this year's Pride festivities, and they tell me the recent legislation is more of a reason for the community to come together, celebrate Pride, and show people they're not going anywhere.
It's all about love, community, and pride. Organizers say this year's festivities mean a little something different.
If we don't use our voice, then others that are sometimes louder use theirs to take away our rights. And so that's why I think this year is more important than ever.
With more than 15,000 in attendance last year, they're hoping for an even bigger turnout this year. And they're ready for everyone to come out and support.
Well, we kicked off at 7 a.m. this morning. We've expanded a little bit more on Broad Street, so we're super excited to continue to drive the impact in Augusta.
It's a celebration of progression in the face of adversity, reflecting on how far the community has come and looking at how far they have to go.
50 years ago, you couldn't hold hands, you couldn't, dress up the opposite sex. You would go to jail, they would arrest you.
Food vendors, businesses, and music, all setting the stage to send a message throughout the city.
You can't take away our voice because we're going to be as loud as possible.
Loud, bigger, and better than ever.
And now we are scheduled at over 800 people if everybody shows up, so it'll be one of our largest parades that we have hosted down Broad Street.
Well, Beats on Broad just started here at the Augusta Common, and they're going to be partying here until midnight. If you want to come and join in on the fun, it's $10 at the gate. But if you miss it tonight, the fun doesn't stop there. They'll be out on Broad Street tomorrow for the Augusta Pride Parade and Festival. It will follow right after, and we'll have information about all the Pride festivities this weekend on our website, Wrdw.com.
Always a very big event in downtown Augusta, and hopefully, Taylor, the weather gets better by the hour. Thanks for the live update there.
If you're downtown tomorrow morning at 10, expect traffic impacts from that parade route. Jones to 11th, Broad and 8th Street, that'll be closed. Early arrival, getting there early. That is heavily suggested for this event.
Recovery efforts from the cyber attack that hit Augusta are almost over now. 2 of the 3 systems that were still offline have been restored. That's the GIS system and the environmental services. Data restoration is still happening for asset management, but they are making progress. Some sad news to pass along this evening. In the last couple of hours, Augusta University confirming the passing of Michael Searles, better known as Cowboy Mike. After a 20-year teaching career, he retired in 2012 as Professor Emeritus in History. Cowboy Mike was known for his efforts to teach others about the Western experiences of black cowboys. He also wrote a weekly column for The True Citizen in Waynesboro. Funeral arrangements have yet to be announced. Well, after 60 years of trims and cuts, a North Augusta barber is closing up shop. We're going to take you there when News 12 at 6 o'clock continues.
had a much drier weekend outlook. Still tracking a few showers and storms for this evening, though. We'll talk about that coming up in the full forecast next. To look at the potential for more of those downpours by Monday. A quick update on the tropics. We do have Tropical Storm Fred, Cindy not too far behind that. Both posed to weaken into areas of tropical depressions, so definitely some favorable trends there. But we'll keep a close eye on the tropics. Here back home, though, looking at mostly dry for next week and those temperatures in the low 90s.
Weekend looks good, Mikkel. Thanks a lot. You know, after cutting hair for 6 decades, a North Augusta barber is hanging up the clippers. Ed Vanderhoff is a veteran, even cutting hair at Fort Gordon.
Our Will Volk stopped by his barbershop to hear more about his life story.
It's hard to find someone that you have faith in to cut your hair, you know.
About 8 years ago, Dan Fisk found Ed Vanderhoff.
I think he's done great or I wouldn't be here. That's quite simple.
Ed opened his own barber shop 25 years ago. He's made a lot of friends ever since.
The people I've met in the 25 years I've had my own shop here, you know, you can take time and you can talk with them. Did you just change trucks?
Before Ed opened this place, he cut hair at Fort Gordon, where he didn't get to have as many conversations.
You're cutting hair up there in 5 minutes. Down here in the civilian world, it could be anywhere 20 minutes to a half an hour.
Over the last 25 years, he's enjoyed having that extra time.
That's what I'm going to miss, hanging out with the guys.
Now, after 6 decades, Ed's decided it's time to hang up his shears.
It's hard to find somebody to send them to because all the people that I've dealt with are either retired or they're passed on. That'll work for?
Fisk says old school barbers are hard to come by. He's gonna miss Ed.
It's going to be a little hard to find someone that could take his place.
In North Augusta, Will Volk on your side.
And Ed says the shop will close at the end of the month. He looks forward to traveling and spending some time with his family, but I bet he could tell a few stories.
Oh, yeah. Imagine the stories over the years that have been told right there in that shop.
Probably knows everybody.
He's going to miss it, I know. Thompson native and University of Georgia alum John Adkins being recognized for his outstanding play in the USFL. Dan tells us more about that next in sports.
And a community group helping our female veterans deal with the effects of PTSD. We show you how after the break.
Save big today when you download the Kroger app. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
PTSD can impact anyone. When it comes to our veterans, the American Psychological Association says PTSD is more likely to impact women. Audrey Dickerber spoke to one local organization helping others speaking up for their mental health.
I feel like we can use more. I believe that we need more.
Wata is a veteran and the founder of the Women Veterans Club of the CSRA.
I believe everybody in my organization has PTSD or some form of it.
Which is at least 100 women in their organization alone.
And some of them have it to the point where they cannot even leave outside their home to even go find help.
And she says it has only gotten worse.
It's really an experience that I've been watching through the years since 2009.
The Veterans Affairs Trauma Clinic tries to help in any way they can.
Come for weekly therapy appointments. We also do some evaluation of the disorder to try and figure out the frequency, the intensity, the severity of the things that are going on.
Mental health has been more of a conversation topic compared to the past.
There's still work to be done. There's still some stigma attached to it in a veteran population.
But even if the resources feel limited, ask for help.
Life is worth living because you served your country. You did a great job, and you're not alone.
Reporting in Augusta, Audrey Dickerber, on your side.
Some definite words of wisdom she's passing along there. And the VA hospital's offering a PTSD screening day online on June 27th. You can answer 5 questions to find out what assistance you might be eligible for or might need through their website.
Former Augusta Mayor D. Copenhaver has been in the news a lot lately. He's finishing up his cancer treatments and raising awareness and money for the Georgia Cancer Center. I sat down with him one-on-one.
So I tell people that, I'm able to access, world-class care. I'm going to MD Anderson next month, but not everybody's able to. So part of what the Cancer Center does is provide world-class care to people that might not be able to access it or afford it.
And you can watch my full interview this Sunday morning on News 12 at 6 o'clock and again at 7 o'clock. Then after that, online and on our streaming platforms, WRDW.com.
On your side.
Sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
The United States Football League, otherwise known as the USFL, made its comeback in 2022, and since then, former Thompson Bulldog and Georgia Bulldog John Atkins has been able to continue his football career after moving on from the NFL. Atkins currently plays defensive tackle for the Memphis Showboats due to his ability to pressure opposing quarterbacks and his physical approach to stopping the run. He made the 2023 All-USFL team. This list of players recognizes the best individual performances around the league throughout the season. After his time in Athens, Atkins played 2 seasons with the Detroit Lions before joining the USFL. Switching gears to basketball, South Carolina Gamecock heard his name called in the NBA draft after we went off the airwaves last night. In the second round, at number 45 overall, freshman forward Gregory Jackson II was selected by the Memphis Grizzlies. The Columbia, South Carolina native is the first underclassman in the history of the Gamecocks men's basketball program to hear his name called on draft night. It's the second round of the 2023 Travelers Championship up in Cromwell, Connecticut. Keegan Bradley was on fire today, shooting a 7 under 63, tying Denny McCarthy for the top spot at 15 under. Ches Reavy made a charge on the leaderboard as well today, cracking into the top 5 heading into the weekend. A full breakdown of round 2 tonight at 11.
Well, thank you for that, Dan. As far as the weekend forecast, looking pretty good. Mostly dry. It's going to be a hot one, though. We'll talk about the forecast one last time coming up.
Invest